It's a nice crisp morning. I think the leaves are just starting to fall off the trees. And this is what I got going on today. Anybody that follows my channel knows that I build things all the time. You see the furniture? There goes my pigeons. I got a good group of them out right now. It's either pigeon related or some kind of furniture that I build. I think the wife's home. Might have to pause this for a second. Nope. Anyway, so when a friend of mine, my buddy Daryl, commissioned me to build him some boxes, 2 boxes for his hen side, 2 boxes for his cock side, for his roller pigeons, I'm all about saving some money. We all know lumber's gotten really expensive and it's actually hard to find sometimes. So what I do, the other day at work, had a couple glass racks. I work at Berkeley Glass in West Virginia, Martinsburg, West Virginia to be exact. So if you need glass work, you need tabletops, you need replacement windows, glass that is, patio door slider glass, you need commercial work, you contact Berkeley Glass and we will get you straight. But these 2 glass racks, we're doing away with these. They used to hold our double strength and our single strength glass at the shop. We came up with a whole new better idea. We recently purchased a new building. There's really a couple buildings and some property, and we're redoing it and everything, and we're coming up with new ideas of how to house everything, how to store everything, how to move everything. You know, we want it to be right. We've been renting a building for years, and now we got our own, and it's going to be setting up for all time. Then you got these wooden racks. I know they look a little rough. I'm sorry, I got my birds flying. I just can't help but watch. Let's see if they come back. Here they come. Here they come. You know what I learned about pigeons? 7 of them out there. Is that when they first come out and start flying, the worst thing about it is they don't know how to land. I mean, they can fly around in the loft just fine, but they don't know how to land on the ground. They don't know how to land on the loft. They come in so hot. And that's where I think you will lose some birds sometimes. I love it. Can't you just love it? There's a buzzard. Hope that's a buzzard. Looks like a buzzard. Yeah, I don't know what is it. Yeah, it's a buzzard. But back to work. So, I love saving people money. Because granted, labor is one thing. Granted, I know I'm going to get paid for my time. Nobody's going to ask me to do something where they're going to cheat me out. But my thing is, when you can reprocess stuff, refurbish things, and save people money, myself included, that's the name of the game. So, a lot of these 1x6s, you see them, flat ones? Not these. I'll be using these too, but these 1x6s like this right here. I'm out here with my Sawzall, my skill saw, and there's all the ones on the bottom, all the ones on the bottom of there. And I'm cutting them loose because at the longest point, I need a 28-inch board. And a 1x1.5 would be perfect for what I'm framing out. So my deal is just what I'm about to show you. See, they've learned to land pretty good here. They're coming in. Hang on, we'll get to it. My shop is coming a long way. I've got a lot of it straightened out so I can actually work in here again, because over the past summer I haven't done a whole lot. I did get a new DeWalt saw. Sometimes you had to pay for quality, because I had a Harbor Freight 12-inch miter saw, which is a really good saw for the price, but the back part finally broke. So, and I think my planer, there's a Porter cable. That wasn't real cheap, but it wasn't real bad either. But my table saw is from Harbor Freight. This is not an endorsement. I wish it was, because a lot of their tools are just fine for, you know, the amateur craftsman, which since I don't do this full time, I consider myself an amateur sometimes, even though I'm a little bit further beyond that. So I got my couple pigeon boxes right there. They've got the dowel rods in them for the leg bands. And this is a fold out trash bin I'm working on with a drawer in it. And I got some reclaimed wood that I've taken through my planer. Getting my planer together. So this is what I did. I came in here first off and run the wood through my planer, which gave me wood that looks like this. This is the wood. Just don't worry about that because it's coming off. But I did both sides. I did both sides of that wood that I took off the rack out there. Pretty. I don't know if it's oak, but I mean pine, but I think it's a little harder than that. So I'm not really sure because I can't really tell the difference. So I'm doing that. I ran through the planer a couple times, got both sides smooth. It saves you sanding. It takes off all the splinters, all the rough stuff. Then I set my table saw to 1.5 inches, and I started running my boards through 1.5 inches. Now, a little bit more time, but I just saved basically a 1x6 by 8. Usually runs you around, I believe it's around $14 or so, maybe a little less. But either way, 10 minutes of labor and a couple more minutes up in here, and I've got, between all this lumber right here, I got all the wood I need to make the frames for the 4 cages that I'm building for my buddy. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to continue what I'm doing here. I'm going to cut everything to size. They're going to have fold-out doors. The whole fronts are going to fold down. They're going to be dowel rod fronts, wire sides, wire floor with a pull-out drop board, and a plywood back and a plywood top. Now, I'm not going to use no more than, say, 3/8 of an inch because it doesn't have to be heavy. It doesn't have to be real heavy duty. So we're talking about a few pigeons, you know. That's what I got going on. Hope y'all enjoy this. When I get to the point, when I cut everything down to size, what I need, I'll be doing another video as in part 2 of how I do what I'm doing. I will say one thing. Where is it at? Like I said, this is not an endorsement for Harbor Freight. But when you're building things, I've learned from watching YouTube videos, it was a tool called a Craig jig, which you can get at Lowe's for about $100. I actually have a small one around here somewhere. There it is. Just that. I think you clamp it down on a board and you drill through it. This is Lowe's version. I got that when I bought that when I bought a drill bit because the drill bits are better off at Lowe's than Harbor Freight. But this right here, the difference between a $100 Craig jig, which is made of plastic, a little bigger than that, and this one I believe is $20 to $30. It's metal. You just clamp, put a couple screws in the board. You can adjust it, different size boards, different angles on the holes. The thickness of the boards, you can adjust that and you can lock it down. And everything works just fine. I really like it. Save you some money. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get on this. I'm going to finish ripping these boards down. I'm going to go over here to my chop saw, do a little guesstimating whatever size I need, and then I'm going to cut them down. So you guys want to hold on, and I'll get right back to you. Just going to do a basic review real quick. Excuse me. I got to go to Lowe's or Home Depot and get some things that I'm going to need for a couple things for 2 of my chainsaws. One needs a new fuel line that I'm going to get, and probably a bulb just to have one around here. But this is what I was going to show you real quick. Cut down my sides. These are my sides right here. This is enough to make 2 boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3 and 4. That's those. Now, it needed to be 13.5 inches tall. So I made these 10.5. These are 1.5 inches wide, so together that's 3 inches. So that's 13.5 inches. So, I'm out of my little Craig jig. Basically what you do is you just stick this in there. If I can do it with one hand. Stick that in there, clamp that down. You would find your setting, and that would determine which hole you screw into. As you see this right here, oh my God, you talk about strong. I usually do it in the short corners. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is going to be on the inside. You're not going to see it. That's the outside. I'll make 2 of those per box. Like I said, the back side is going to be plywood. The front side, I've cut it short instead of being 24 inches long like it's supposed to be. I cut it to 23 3/8 because my boards are a little over a 1/2 inch. And when I put that in the front, there's your 24. I'm making a door to go in the front, so I accounted for that because we're in limited space here, and that's what we got going on. So like I said, I got all the boards cut to make 2 of them right now. Enough over here to make the front doors. I got to go to Lowe's or Home Depot. I think we're going to Home Depot because it's a little closer. I don't like going to Lowe's here in Martinsburg because it's usually slam packed. You can't get nothing done. If anything, I'll just drive down the road a little bit further and go to Winchester in Virginia. I might just do that because I need gas, and gas is like 20 to 30 cents cheaper a gallon just by going 4 or 5 miles down the road, maybe a few more than that, but who cares? And I'm going to come back and tear down some more of them pallets, and I'm going to throw them through my planer, get the wood looking like that, rip it down on my table saw, cut them up on my DeWalt saw. These are your specialty screws. They're a little bit more expensive than regular screws, but this is the Chisnet. If you were to screw this together any other way, the screws are going to crack, they're going to split, it's not going to last. When I build this, if you noticed any of my nest boxes I built back in the day with the dowel rods, you know this thing is here to stay. And since this is going to be mounted on a wall, it's going to have a brace underneath of it to support the weight. But like I said, it's going to have a drop box on it for the poo to go through the wire, because it's going to have a wire floor, and it's going to have a plywood top. So it's going to have a little weight to it. So the other day I was over at Daryl's, and we devised a plan to make some braces that's going to go up underneath of them to support the weight. And that's what it's going to come to. So, birds flying, which I don't have to do much with them, just let them fly. I'm going to leave them here. You know, let them babysit themselves. I'm going to go get the stuff I need, make a list. So Daryl knows, I am on top of this, and you're going to be able to see how I build this every step of the way. Basically, let me show you here. This is the design. It's a little bigger looking than what it's supposed to be, but the front on the hinge side is 28 inches. See, 20 inches. The fronts on the cock side are 27. I think that's just because of his cages and where he split the difference on his loft. These are going in between his metal breeding cages. So there's like 27 inches on one side, left over 28 inches on another side, which is cool. They're going to be 24 inches deep, but we're going to put a piece of plywood that's probably much 27 inches altogether because it's going to overhang like 3 inches, which is cool. That way the birds get over here and everything messing around, they won't be crapping inside. And you see this right here? That's something I'm going to be making for the plywood to slide in and out. I'm going to have a handle on the bottom so you can easily pull it out, scrape it off, slide it back with a wire bottom, wire sides. And Daryl decided that he didn't just want a door with dowels on it. We're going to just consider this is the whole thing. Don't even look at this. This whole front is going to be dowel rods. And the whole front is going to drop down so you have access to everything because you want to put stuff in there. And that's what we're looking at. And that's what I'm going to build. It takes a little bit of configuring and configuring and figuring to figure out exactly how big everything's got to be. That's where I come in. It's funny, as you're a kid, you know, you figure I'm never going to have to learn fractions because we're never going to use that stuff. But you know, doing carpentry, doing any kind of measuring, even on my glass table. The other day I'm doing a big tabletop that's 100 inches long right now, and it's got angles on two sides, and I had to find the center point so I know how far to go over from the center to put an angle so it'll go from there to my 100-inch mark. It's like if you look at maybe a pyramid and you cut the square top off of it. That's what we got going on. Anyway, as you can see, the pigeons are hanging out. Excuse the artist, a mess. It's Ruger, Rex, and Buddy. Bug's up under the table for some odd reason. Bug, what are you doing? Bug, come here, Bug. Bug, what are you doing under there? She's a pretty thing. She's probably rat hunting because there's still rats running in my yard, but we're taking care of that slowly. Slowly. Been using bait blocks in the house. Not necessarily in the house, but places where the dogs can't get them. And they've been disappearing, and things have slowed down here a whole lot. Anyway, this is Terry over Hidden Hollow. This is going to be part one of what I got going on around here besides the birds. I'm going to take you on, show you what we got, all the way to the installation. If you're interested, if there's something you want to know, get with me. I do build custom things. I just don't have a lot of time, but I build custom release boxes. You can look a little further into my page and find those and some other projects you might even want to do for Christmas. Like, check out my stove covers. You talk about making your wife happy, go make her one of those. Or better yet, we're getting ready to offer them for Christmas again at $65 a shot. Stained whatever color you want with the vinyl. It says either your family name, a Bible verse, or anything you want it to say. With there'll be polyurethane over top of all that, and they got handles. And you have choices on a few different things. But anyway, this is what I got going on now. Daryl, just letting you know, is in the works. I'm not ignoring you, brother. I'm just busy, and I will get with you guys soon. Y'all have a beautiful day. It is a beautiful day. Bye.